Welcome to another Drag Race related channel. In today's video, I'm going to review episode 5 and 6 of Drag Race Italia season 2. I have to do both episodes in the same video because last week I tried to make the review of episode 5, but I was going through a very heavy cold and I didn't have enough voice to record the video. I'm still struggling a little bit with my voice, but I have enough volume to speak properly. So let's get right into the video. The maxi challenge of episode 5 was the Rusical. Overall, I liked it. I liked it quite a lot, and I think it was even better than last year's Rusical, which was already pretty good. Yeah, the budget it was not very high because they didn't have any props on stage with them, just dancers, but the songs were great. The way they recorded the vocals was great because usually Drag Race has a problem with the mixing of recorded vocals with instrumentals, and Drag Race Italia doesn't have this problem. What I felt was missing, both from this year's Rusical and last year's Rusical, it's the storyline. Yeah, there was some kind of tale that was true chronologically speaking, because yes, they started from the Gaga of the Fame era, then they passed on the Fame Monster era and so on, but there was not really a storyline and characters, which is the acting of a musical, and that side of the musical was lacking a lot for me. It was just about vocals, singing and performing, not acting. And I wish to see more acting in musicals. But now let's talk about each queen's performance. Nelenia was not the best singer, she was not the best dancer, but overall she had the strongest performance. The way she commanded the stage, the way she was committed to the role, and the way she surprised me both because of her vocals and because of her dancing, everything made her shine so bright compared to everyone else, and I think she would have deserved to win. Then the top 2 lip sync happened, and I do agree that La Petite Noire won that lip sync, and I do agree that La Petite was the second best of the episode, so her win is perfectly deserved. But if it wasn't for the lip sync, I think Nelenia should have won the challenge. And her runway is not the most memorable from her of this season, but it's pretty good. It's very on brand, it's fun, it's colorful, and I liked it. Not memorable, but it was fine. And then we have La Diamond, who, for the first time in this competition, in my opinion, was not one of the contenders for the win of the episode, because in the performance, in the Rusical, she did fine, but she wasn't the best. Still, her runway was spectacular. Like, she looked so much like Madonna, and I love the fact that she didn't copy a look of Madonna. She didn't recreate a look that Madonna wore. She just made something original that screamed Madonna, and it worked so good. Like, that's how you do a Madonna tribute on the runway, girls. Learn from La Diamond. I don't have anything else to say about her. Skandalov also was not one of the contenders for the win, in my opinion, but she did a fine job. Her performance in the Rusical surprised me because her voice sounded really good. Yeah, maybe it was corrected with autotune and things, but her tone was so sweet and warm and silky. I loved it. Yeah, her outfit during the Rusical was horrible. It was horrible. But on the runway, I loved that look. Like, I kind of agree with Tommaso's critique that bigger hair would have made the look more drag, but the look itself, I think it looks perfectly fine the way it is, so great week for Skandalov. And when it comes to Aura, I think she had the best vocals of the night, obviously. That there's no doubt about that. And I also loved the way she performed on stage. She was very confident and funny when she had to be funny. And the only thing that I wish she did, and this is just me nitpicking because since she's a great vocalist, I wish sometimes she would have gone stronger with her vocals because she's a singer and she wanted to give us dynamics. So she started very soft and then she started to belt a little bit in the chorus of the song. But when it came to the belting, I wish she belted more, like in a more powerful way, because it was a Lady Gaga tribute and Gaga doesn't really whisper when she sings. But apart from that, that's it. That is just me nitpicking. She had the best vocals of the night. I loved to hear her shine and hear her do all of her runs and riffs. It was so good. Her runway, I don't have much to say about it because, yeah, it doesn't look good. I love the reference, but yeah, it just doesn't look good. Let's move on. And if Aura was the best singer, La Petite Noire was the best dancer, hands down. She commanded the stage and her win was so deserved because she deserved to be in the top two and she won that lip sync. She gave us the best lip sync in Drag Race Italia history for now. So she really deserved, it was her week to win. And on the runway, I mean, I like it. It's fine. I'm not excited looking at it, but it was a solid job also on the runway. So great week for La Petite Noire. And finally, we have Geoffrey. I was surprised by Geoffrey because she always said that she was anxious about dancing and performing and do this kind of stuff, but I think she did fine. Yes, she was the weakest link in the group, but I do think she did a solid job on the stage. On the runway, though, I didn't like it. I'm sorry, I agree with Tommaso. The dress was too short. Yes, it's an original dress. Great idea. The dress itself is fine. And maybe, yes, in the 90s, you were supposed to see your feet with that type of dress, but come on, that dress was too short. It wasn't the right size. It was ill-fitting. It just didn't look good. This time, Tommaso had a point. So the runway, I didn't like it. But the performance in the musical, I think it was fine. But then everything worked out because they all did good in the musical, so no one went home. So now let's get right into the next episode. And in episode 6, the maxi challenge was the makeover. And for this challenge, I'm going to review, yes, the looks of the queens and the companions, but I'm going to review also the performance, the presentation, the idea, and the concept behind. So let's get right into it. Nellenia, who is the winner of the episode, is my top pick of the week. I do think that her makeover was the best overall. Her look was just amazing. It was so elegant and classy and subtle, but also ironic and funny with the mustache. It was just so good. And her partner also looked great. He was able to walk on high heels and the presentation was great. They had a concept. They were fighting on stage. It was just so good through and through. That win was so deserved and it felt so satisfying to watch because we all wanted her to win something and they teased us so much. And last episode, we've been edged quite a lot because we thought she was going to win and then at the end, no! And this time she won. It felt so good. So this was really her week. And then we have La Diamond, who I think could have also won from look standpoint. Her outfit looked great, amazing. The idea was it was genius and I got the reference right away. The thing is, her partner, while he looked good in drag, I didn't really get the concept because he was supposed to be the golden cup. But I don't know, it felt a bit of a stretch and there was no storyline on stage. So even though her look was great and it could have won the challenge, when it comes to performance, story, concept, it wasn't as strong as Nellenia's. So I do agree that Nellenia should have won this. But If La Diamond won, I wouldn't have been mad, to be completely honest. On the other hand, this was a pretty rough week for Skandalov. I don't like anything about this makeover. The only thing that I like, things that I like, is that her partner looks good. Probably looks even better than her, which I don't know if it's supposed to happen. And I loved how they presented everything on stage, because what I want to give her credit for is that she knows how to present something on stage. She's always smiling and interpreting the outfit. She's great on the runway. But the look itself, both looks are it's just so plain and simple and kind of boring. Very forgettable. So I do agree with her bottom placement. Now let's talk about Aura. I think she looked hot. She looked gorgeous. Her mug was on point as always, but it looked even better than usual, so she looked great. Even her outfit, even though it was kind of simple, I loved it. I loved the concept. Obviously, the reference was very easy to understand, and yeah, she looked amazing. Her partner, he looked fine, because the makeup looked great, but the outfit itself was very simple. It was just a bunch of stuff. It's not that it didn't look good, it's just it was a bit disappointing, but overall, as a makeover, I think it was fine. Not the best, not the worst, it was very middle of the pack. La Petite Noire did a very good job. She looked gorgeous, as always. Her makeup and her wig, everything was styled in the best way possible, and she was giving me dancer, and it also, the concept was very good, and I got it right away. Her partner looked amazing. His face was great. The mug was great. The wig was great. I wasn't crazy about the catsuit that her partner wore. It was very, very simple. Yes, he was supposed to be the ribbon. Okay, fine. But yeah, it was maybe too simple for me, even though overall the makeover was great and the concept was very, very good. And finally, we have Geoffrey, whose concept I really liked. The makeover overall wasn't my favorite. I didn't like it. Her partner looked, it's not that he didn't look good, because it was something that I would even want to wear, but not for a makeover challenge on Drag Race. I don't know, it was a bit of a letdown, the makeover. And Geoffrey's outfit was, I liked the concept, I liked where he was going with it, but the ending result was not satisfying to watch. I loved the helmet and the shoulders, everything, whatever she had on the shoulders, that looked fine. And also the t-shirt, I liked that part of the outfit. But as a whole, it was a bit, not simple, but it felt like an afterthought, like something put on at the last second, if you know what I mean. It didn't convince me. And I'm really sad to see her go, because I really liked her. I really like her, and I liked the fact that she brought something different to Drag Race. Some people didn't like her drag because they felt it wasn't drag enough or whatever. I don't think so. I think she brought her artistry to Drag Race, and she was always true to her aesthetic, and I love that. And I'm sorry to see her go. But if we look at her performance in the last 2 episodes, I think it was her time. Yeah. And that's the video. I think I'm done. I'm not going to discuss Priscilla's looks this time, because I talked enough, and even though I'm healing from the cold, my throat is still hurting, so that's enough. And I won't sing the usual bye-bye, because it's really, my throat is on fire right now. So that's all, folks. Thank you for tuning in every single week, and please subscribe if you can, because it would be very, 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 very helpful. And thank you all. Bye bye.